today's event. On behalf of our host, Admiral Brad Collins, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to today's change of command ceremony for Naval Air Station Sigonella. The official party will be arriving shortly and honors will be rendered. All guests are kindly invited to take their seats. Military guests, please remain covered throughout the ceremony. At this time, we request that all cell phones and electronic devices be silenced. Boatswain, post the side buoys. Honored guests, please rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the national anthem and the invocation. Time orderly, strike 4 bells. Captain, United States Navy, arriving. Time orderly, strike 4 bells. Naval Air Station Sigonella arriving. Time orderly, strike 6 bells. Navy Region Europe, Africa Central, arriving. Color guard, parade the colors.
March on, march! Left turn, march! Ready, halt! Freeze and march!
Military personnel, and salute. Color guard, retire the colors.
Shoulder, arch. Ready, two. Right, face. Forward, march.
Ready, two. Chaplain King will now deliver the invocation.
Lord, you are the steady hand on the wheel, the calm in every storm, the lighthouse that never dims. As we gather today to mark this change of command, we pause first to thank you for your faithfulness, your guidance, and your presence in every chapter of this command story. Thank you for Captain Shoemaker and for his leadership. You have walked beside him through long nights and early mornings, through decisions heavy with consequence and moments of quiet courage. Thank you for the wisdom you gave, the strength you supplied, and the character you shaped within him. As he passes the mantle of leadership, may he know the joy of a race run well, and the peace of knowing his labor was not in vain, and that he made a lasting positive impact on the entire Sigonella community. We know, Lord, that the burden of leadership is not carried alone, and that his family has also helped carry that load in their own individual ways. So, Lord, I thank you for Lisa and for the blessing she has been to our community. May she know how loved by the community she is, and may she see her impact. I pray a blessing over Megan and Ashley, and I thank you for their sacrifices and support that they have given over the course of their lives as military children, and now as adults supporting from afar. Thank you, Lord, for the entire Shoemaker family, and may you continue to bless them with favor, peace, protection, and purpose in their new journey. I now ask your blessing on our new commanding officer, Captain Martins, and his family. Grant wisdom for his decisions, strength for his journey, and grace for every challenge ahead. And I pray a blessing over every sailor, every civilian, every family member that makes up this command. I pray that this command will be united, focused, and fearless. Let this team be strong when it's hard and faithful when it counts. Strengthen and protect us all, Lord, and those who are standing the watch in defense of our freedom. In your name I pray, amen.
Thank you, Chaplain King. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Boatswain, post the side boys. U.S. Commanding Officers, Command Master Chiefs, Battalion, civilian officials, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon and welcome once again to this special occasion marking the change of command for Naval Air Station Sigonella. The ceremonies, customs, and traditions of today's U.S. Navy draw their origin from ancient customs and laws of the sea. Begun in historic times by seafaring men and gradually merged into the British naval regulations, in effect at the time of the American Revolution. The effect these old customs have had in the formation of naval regulations is a marked example of the influence of tested usage. Today's change of command ceremony is not prescribed specifically by U.S. Navy regulations, but rather is an honored product of the rich heritage of naval tradition. It is a custom wholly naval without an equivalent counterpart into the Army, Air Force, or Marine Corps. Custom has established that this ceremony be formal and impressive, designed to strengthen the respect for authority vital to any military organization. Parading all hands at quarters and public reading of official orders stems from those days when movement of mail and persons was a very slow process. This procedure was designed to ensure only authorized officers held command and that all on board were aware of the officer's authenticity. The heart of the ceremony is the formal reading of the official orders by both the relieving officer and the officer to be relieved. Command passes upon utterance by the relieving officer, "I relieve you," and the officer being relieved responds, "I stand relieved." This simple procedure is duplicated hundreds of times every day throughout the navies of the world as each watch officer passes responsibility to the relief and the conduct of each ship's routine. The strength of today's Navy stems in large measure from the observance of customs and traditions, each founded on need, each contributing its share to stability, combat effectiveness, and smooth transfer of authority. This simple ceremony, passing authority and responsibility to another officer, reflects the dedication of free men serving their nation proudly. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to introduce today's guest speaker and host, Admiral Collins.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, family members, honored guests, and our Italian friends and allies, and most importantly to the warfighters of Naval Station Sigonella. It's great to be with all of you here today, of Captain Aaron Shoemaker and his team, and welcoming in Captain Dan Martins to NAS Sigonella, the hub of the Mediterranean. To our distinguished guests and our partners, your attendance is an honor, demonstrates our collective commitment to regional security, and stands as a testament to the partnership between our nations and the close ties that draw our countries together. For nearly 66 years, NAS Sigonella has provided consolidated operational, command and control, administrative, and advanced logistical support to U.S. and NATO forces throughout the region. Day in and day out, though, on the ground, the success of this base is made possible only because of the commitment and professionalism of the military members, civilians, and host nation employees that work here and are led by their skipper, Aaron Shoemaker. Before I talk about the list of impressive accomplishments that they have had under his leadership, it is important to set the scene for which he and the entire NASIG team and our Italians operate in every single day. Sigonella is one of 8 Navy installations operating in the busiest region in the world. In the north, the war between Russia and Ukraine recently entered its 3rd year. In the Levant, fighting has resumed between Israel and Hamas. For more than a year, Houthi attacks on military and civilian shipping in the Red Sea have taken lives and continue to interrupt global commerce. Across the wider Eurasian area, we see Iranian proxies, civil instability on the African continent, as well as a host of other humanitarian crises and disaster relief activities. Skipper, throughout your tenure, we've seen many of these events and others just like them that have thrust this base and NAS Sigonella into the heart of U.S. and coalition operations. And you have always succeeded no matter what the circumstances and no matter what the challenges. We are at a critical juncture in history. For this region, the installation in the world, it is a time requiring bold, decisive leadership, persons of action, and unrelenting perseverance. This installation supports 35 forward deployed and 10 commands that fulfill a wide array of missions. Their presence and capabilities provide the U.S. military a strategic advantage in a crowded and influential operating environment shaped by great power competition, regional conflict, and violent extremist organization activities. Skipper, you and your team operate at the strategic center of the Mediterranean. Your impact is evident in NASIG's success, as well as the contributions you have made in fostering the strong partnerships we have with our Italian hosts and counterparts. The pride and dedication I see in your team today is a reflection of the selflessness and ownership you personally bring to the table each and every day. You led this base through a time of tremendous transformation. As a key aviation enabler to U.S. Sixth Fleet and NATO, you continued the integration of the Navy P-8 maritime patrol aircraft and completed the full integration of NATO's intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance program. These contributions bolstered coalition abilities, providing commanders accurate and timely information needed to make critical decisions each day. Under your leadership, NASA integrated the Army Joint Tactical Ground Station, supported multiple U.S. Space Force deployments, and ushered in new combat capabilities through support to the Marine Corps North African Response Force Aviation Combat Element. Further developing your warfighting capacity here on the base, you oversaw numerous construction projects, such as the $44 million P-8 and MQ-4C Triton hangars, and a $40 million project to increase weapons operations and storage facilities. Through a project to modernize and harden Naval Communication and Telecommunication Station facility, you ensured NAS Sigonella would remain a key linchpin of operational planning for the United States EUCOM, AFRICOM, and CENTCOM commands for years to come. There are 800 military and civilian personnel assigned to the installation, and along with the nearly 5,500 tenant and forward deployed personnel, this base remains the premier shore platform and mission enabler for EUCOM and 6th Fleet operations. Skipper, during your 3 years, air operations tallied more than 51,000 operational and training sorties. Your warfighters safely handled more than 1,800 additional aircraft, moving 41,000 passengers and 28,000 tons of cargo through this theater. And the port operations team supported 146 ship visits to Augusta Bay NATO facilities. Simply put, NAS Sigonella is a 24/7 warfighting platform and force enabler that is operating at peak capacity to ensure the United States is positioned to deter war while being ready to defend and protect our interests at home and abroad. As you can tell, the work accomplished on board here is impressive, it is nonstop, and it understandably attracts widespread attention. On top of everything else that you had to do, you had several high-level visitors, including the Secretary of Defense, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Chief of Naval Operations, Supreme Allied Commander Europe, Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy, First Lady of the United States, and numerous heads of state across 214 unique visits. Each visit showcased the pride and the professionalism of those who make this base the strategic centerpiece that it is. Throughout all of that, I can appreciate that you kept your warfighters in mind. Your commitment to quality of life for the service members and their families is shown in the completion of a $900,000 upgrade to sports fields, pavilions, sand volleyball courts, and the like. You managed a base housing program that achieved a 91% customer satisfaction rate, taking care of our personnel and their families at home so they could focus on the mission at hand. Under your leadership, the galley was awarded the Captain Edward May Award in 2023, and I can say again, 2025. Congratulations to that team. And is the universal standard for Navy galleys and dining facilities across the fleet and the shore. Skipper, you should be proud of the amazing job you and your team have done. Your contributions and efforts have directly impacted the lives of our sailors, America's relationship with Italy, and the Navy's mission overall in the region. Thank you for your dedication and for your continual pursuit of excellence. Let me add personally that you not only led your people honorably and decisively, but you were a tremendous amount of support from the other fellow CEOs that were out there. You were someone I was always trusted, who was ready to help improve how I and the region could do our job better in supporting the installations. And in a Navy of talented officers, you are one of the best, and it has been a privilege and an honor to serve with you. To your family, Lisa, Megan and Ashley, and to your mom, Mrs. Mary Shoemaker, thank you for the stories last night, Mary. My heartfelt thanks to your dedication to your husband, father, and son. I want to tell you that the sacrifices you have made have not gone unnoticed. The late nights, the frequent calls, many of them for me, endless stressors, the blurred lines of work and personal life, they're all part of the job, and your support to Aaron allowed him to focus on the mission and to take care of this entire installation. Thank you very much for that. It's easy as service members sometimes to take this support for granted. We chose this life after all, but our spouses sometimes get thrown into it, and kids are definitely born into it. And so with little or no choice, they find themselves where you are today. I know that handling burdens and anxieties at home does not get recognized enough, and seldom gets rewarded at all. My wife Carrie and I know full well this burden that has fallen on you all, so we want to say thank you for allowing Aaron the space, the time, and the support to do what he needed to do to get the mission done. In the same spirit, I want to take notice of the importance that all of the families in NAS Sigonella make. Never forget, your family's sacrifice directly leads to mission success. We cannot do the job without our families. So please join me in a round of applause for all of our spouses and families. The responsibility for this base and the safety of its people will soon rest on your shoulders. It is a heavy responsibility, but I have full faith and confidence in your ability to lead this amazing team. With the support of every one of the warfighters here and around the rest of the base, and with the help of your Italian partners, you will take the helm of this shore platform and direct its course to new heights of success. In my view, selection of command at any level is the ultimate compliment for an officer. It is a responsibility like no other, and if done correctly, with your heart and your soul invested, it will be the hardest, but it will be the most rewarding job that you will ever have. I would like to paraphrase the following from the latest Navy Charge of Command. The responsibility of command is absolute. You remain accountable for both the actions and the inactions, as well as the outcomes that make your team better. You are absolutely responsible for every aspect of your command. Dan, that mantle of leadership is now passing to you. I guarantee this will be one of the most challenging assignments in your career, but it will also be the most rewarding. Being the hub of the Med means you will remain busy, and most undoubtedly, you will come across uncharted territory. It is in these moments that I need you to pull from your experiences and lean on the great team here at NAS Sigonella to get through it together. This is a no-fail mission, and I have every confidence in your ability, your leadership, the service members of Sigonella, and our Italian counterparts to ensure that this installation is ready at all times. I want to say welcome to your wife Liz, your parents Pat and Patty, as well as your mother-in-law Mary Jane. They're all up here. It's great to have them here today. To be sure, they have all contributed to your success up to this point, and I thank them now for what they will do to be the steadfast anchor for you in the years to come. The stressors of command may seem daunting at times, but with the love and support of family, you will see your way through. I'm delighted to welcome you and Liz to Sicily and to the entire Your Absent family. Welcome. Shu, congratulations on a very successful tour. Thank you for leading the hub of the Med even better than how you found it when you got here. And I can't say that. You did an outstanding job. Safe travels, Godspeed, and may God bless the United States Navy, our Italian partners, our allies, friends, and the United States of America. Thank you all.
Thank you, Admiral Collins. Admiral Collins will now present Captain Shoemaker his end of tour award. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Military personnel, attention to award. The President of the United States takes pleasure in presenting the Legion of Merit Gold Star in lieu of second award to Captain Aaron F. Shoemaker, United States Navy, for service as set forth in the following citation. For exceptionally meritorious conduct in the performance of outstanding service as Commanding Officer of Naval Air Station Sigonella, Italy, from April 2022 to April 2025. Demonstrating the highest degree of leadership and dedication, Captain Shoemaker drove a culture of warfighting readiness. A relentless steward of limited resources, he solidified infrastructure investment, enabling maximum power projection and support of distributed maritime operations, resulting in new heights of mission accomplishment by the deployed deployed contingency and transient forces of the 5 combatant commanders operating in the U.S. 5th and 6th Fleet areas of responsibility. An outstanding professional, he served as the senior U.S. military officer present in Sicily and direct liaison to the international military organizations, European dignitaries, and local government officials, strengthening strategic partnerships and the diplomatic mission of the United States through military cooperation, displaying the utmost care for the health, safety, and cooperation of morale of over 6,300 service members, civilian employees, and family members of 35 partner commands across 7 geographically distinct bases. He overcame challenges to ensure the continuity of critical operations throughout numerous and severe natural disasters, including floods and volcanic eruptions. By his dynamic leadership, keen judgment, and loyal dedication to duty, Captain Shoemaker reflected great credit upon himself and upheld the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service. For the President, C.S. Gray, Vice Admiral, U.S. Navy. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. U.S. Naval Air Station Sigonella, Captain Aaron Shoemaker.
Autorità civili, militari, gentili, ospiti tutti, buongiorno e benvenuti a Sigonella. Sua Eccellenza Dottoressa Lobrizi, Colonnello Sprefico, Generale Ramondo, Generale Altavilla, Ammiraglio Ranieri, grazie per la sua presenza. Essere il comandante della base aeronavale di Sigonella è stata un'opportunità unica, veramente un sogno che si è avverato. Sigonella è un posto speciale per me perché è la prima volta che sono andato in missione in Marina nel 2001, sono stato mandato qui. 24 anni fa mi sono innamorato della Sicilia e di Sigonella. Per oltre 65 anni i siciliani ci hanno accolto come una famiglia. Insieme abbiamo superato molte sfide e so che la nostra amicizia continuerà. È stato il più grande onore e il più grande privilegio far parte della famiglia siciliana. Vi sarò per sempre grato per il supporto che avete fornito a me e questa comunità. La Sicilia avrà sempre un posto speciale dove vivere. Grazie mille. Sergeant of Far Crowley, Consul General Reverend Pounds, Mr. Mueller, Admiral Collins, my fellow commanding officers, executive officers, OIC, senior enlisted leaders, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sigonella and thank you for being here today. I was just telling our Italian teammates that serving here as the commanding officer of NAS Sigonella has been an opportunity of a lifetime and a dream come true. Sigonella is a very special place for me personally because my first deployment in the Navy was to Sigonella here in 2001 as a young pilot in DB-26. 24 years ago, I fell in love with Sicily and Sigonella, and it still blows my mind to be here today. I've been so overwhelmed with emotions these past few weeks that I've almost had a loss of words. What do you say when you get to the end of a special experience like this? Famed poet and civil rights activist Maya Angelou is widely credited with saying, "People forget what you said, people forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." I have never felt as special, as loved, or as proud as I have these last 3 years we've shared together. And I'll talk more about that later. When it comes to ceremonies like this one today, the one thing you can always count on are a whole lot of thank yous. So at the risk of using a bunch of words that you're likely to forget, there are some special people that I'd like to thank today. First off, I'd like to extend a special thanks to all those who worked diligently behind the scenes for the last several days, putting together today's ceremony, led by our Change of Command Coordinator, Lieutenant Kelly, our Protocol Officer, Mr. Roberto Fuentes, our Master of Ceremonies, Axel Morera, our Public Affairs team, our ushers, our side boys, our honors bosun, our bell ringer, the NAS Sigonella Color Guard, and a special thanks to the Marine Corps Brass Quintet from the Naval Forces Europe Africa Band. Your performance has made it all the more special today. Thank you. Please join me in a round of applause for all of those that made it happen today. To our State Department team, Chargé d'Affaires and National War College classmate Sean Crowley, Consul General Tracy Roberts-Pounds, thank you and your teams at the Embassy and the Consulate for the support and the counsel that you've provided these past few years. We've accomplished so much together, from sweating it out, celebrating the 80th anniversary of Operation Husky, multiple trips to Nashemi, and to the countless engagements at the local, provincial, regional, and national levels. Diplomacy is a delicate art, and I greatly appreciate your patience and your friendship. To Admiral Collins, sir, it's been an honor to work for you. Your humble leadership style has been and will continue to be an inspiration for me and for so many others in this region. Lisa and I are very thankful for the mentorship that you and Carrie have provided us, and we look forward to continuing that. Command can be a lonely place to be. So I want to say a special thanks today to the Hills Drive Hive. You all have been great friends. You've always been there to support not only us, but you're there to support this community. So thank you all. To Ms. Denise Bellagamba, would you mind standing up, please, Denise? We have something for you. Denise is our adult military family life counselor, and she and her predecessor have been a tremendous blessing to this community. On behalf of the entire Sigonella family, thank you. Thank you, Dennis. Next, I'd like to recognize our outstanding ombudsman, Mrs. Century Smith and Mrs. Maria Stevens. Thank you both for all of the tough work that you do behind the scenes to care for our sailors and our families. Thank you. Trying to find her, but she's probably hiding somewhere. But to Ms. Deborah Chichero, where are you, Deborah? Anybody see Deborah? She's probably busy running around. I'm not going to be here. There she is. Deborah, I'm not going to be here on April 24th when we celebrate Administrative Professionals Day, but I greatly appreciate all that you have done to support me. Specialmente como maestro siciliano. Your friendship has meant the world to me and Lisa. She's going to be so angry. Well, here in a minute it won't matter. Speaking of somebody that's going to be angry at me, Senior Chief Harden, like I said, you're going to be mad at me for even mentioning you today, but thank you for serving as our senior enlisted leader. I don't know anyone that has a bigger heart than you do. Thank you very much. To my XO, Dan Herrera, Ponch, and I don't say thank you enough. I want to publicly thank you and all that you do, for all that you do behind the scenes to manage the chaos we have here. Your support has been phenomenal, and we cherish the friendship that we have with you and Ree and your girls. Thank you. Mark, congratulations, my friend. I'm very thankful that we were able to have the time together that we did, and to meet you and Liz. This is an amazing team. You and Liz are an amazing team, and I am thankful for our friendship. I look forward to seeing the Sigonella team flourish under your steady hand. Best of luck, lead them well, and keep them safe. To my extended family and friends back in the United States and watching online today, thank you for your love and support over all the years. To my mom, thank you for making the whirlwind trip to be here today. I wish Dad and Zach were here today. But I know they're looking down, doing it earlier. Thank you. Ashley and Megan, thank you both for skipping out of college to be here today. Thank you for the sacrifices that you've made. You're the most beautiful young women in the world. Mom and I are exceptionally proud of you both, and we love you more than you'll ever know. To Lisa, thank you. It would take a lifetime to describe all of the ways that you have loved and supported me over this past 27 years. This lifestyle hasn't been easy for you either, but you've always been there for me and the girls. Thank you for being the wife, mother, and best friend that you are. We wouldn't be here today without your love and support. I know this has been one of the loneliest and most challenging tours that we've had, but I want to publicly thank you for all that you've done behind the scenes to love and support this community. Thank you, ti amo. And finally, to the amazing NAS Sigonella team, what a tremendous honor it has been to work alongside of you. Thank you for all that you do every single day to complete the mission. There's not a busier, more strategically relevant base in the world. The missions we enable here are briefed at the highest levels of our government every single day, and nobody does it better than you. These last few days, I've tried to go around and thank as many of you as possible in person, but I know that I haven't been able to get to everyone. If I've missed you, please forgive me, and know that each and every one of you will always have a very special place in my heart. So as my tour comes to a close, I've spent a lot of time reflecting on the past 3 years. We've shared some unbelievable experiences, some of the highest highs and some very tragic lows. I think about all the tremendous community events like Red, White, and Boom, Autumn Fest, Sig's the Season, the concerts, on and on. I can laugh about it now, but my first Red, White, and Boom happened just a couple of months after I took command. And those of you that were here in 2022 would remember that we ended up setting the field outside the base on fire. Back then, I thought I was done. I also remember the great water outage of Christmas Eve 2022. And you know what? We had the most amazing Christmas dinner that year at the galley, served on paper plates and prepared with bottled water. The monumental effort by the Ristorante Bellet and the team to pull that off should amaze you, but it shouldn't be a surprise. We have the best galley in the Navy, as you heard. We've won the NA Award 2 out of the last 3 years, 6 out of the last 8 years. Best galley in the universe, if you ask me. I remember the wildfires that terrorized Sicily in July of 2023, and I remember how this community came together and rallied around those families displaced by the fire and power outages. And I remember the tragic losses of Lieutenant Commander Sean Wilhelm and Senior Airman Jonathan Forrest. Across all that we've been through as a community, we always get the mission done. Not only do we get the mission done, but we're always getting better. Every inspection, every assessment, always better than the last. In fact, in this last round of assessments between FEP, our Emergency Management Program Assessment, NATOPS, Military Working Dog, you name it, all of them, We scored the highest that we've ever scored in the 65-year history of NES Sigonella. In all fairness, most of those inspections haven't been around that long, but it sounds a lot better to say that. Now, as you would expect, I've gotten a lot of questions recently. What's been your most memorable experience? What's your favorite experience? Least favorite? Most difficult challenge? Favorite food? Etc., etc. It's hard for me to come up with a single answer to those questions, except for maybe the food. I love arancini. But looking back, I think the most special part of the last 3 years and what I will miss the most is the sense of community that we have here in Sigonella. I've been in the Navy for almost 27 years now, and I've been to a lot of duty stations over the years. Sure, I've always felt connected with the people in those commands, but those duty stations were never a community for me. They were just a place that I went to do my job. But the feeling of community that we have here in Sigonella, it doesn't happen by accident. We have a lot of people and organizations that work really hard to provide everything we need to thrive here. But none of that works without the involvement of every member of this community and our shared experiences together. It doesn't work without the commitment of this team. It doesn't work without your service and the sacrifices made by you and your families. For that, I will be forever grateful. Your service and your commitment to this community inspires me every single day. And when I look at all that we've accomplished, and I compare that with the challenges that we faced, the math simply doesn't add up. What makes that difference? You do. It has been my highest honor and greatest privilege to serve alongside each one of you as your commanding officer. And I would like to close my remarks today with what I believe to be the most succinct summary of what it means to live a life of service. It comes from the 2nd chapter of the Apostle Paul's letter to the early church in Philippi, and it says, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourself." Thank you. May God bless you all.
Thank you, sir. Command Senior Enlisted Leader Marquita Harden will now present Captain Shoemaker with a gift from the Chief's Mess. Thank you, Senior Chief. Captain Shoemaker will now read his orders.
Let's see if they're in here. Last time I did this, they weren't. They are. I will now read my orders from Navy Personnel Command to Captain Aaron F. Shoemaker. Subject, Bugler's Order 3394. When directed by Reporting Senior, detached from Naval Air Station Sigonella and report to Naval District, Washington as Chief of Staff.
Captain Martins will now read his orders.
From Navy Personnel Command to Captain Daniel M. Martins, Bugler's Order 2324. When directed by Reporting Senior, detach from DLI, Washington, and report to Naval Air Station Sigonella as Commanding Officer.
Mrs. Martins will now pin the Commander Shore pin on Captain Martins. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the new Commanding Officer of Naval Air Station Sigonella, Captain Daniel Martins.
Buongiorno, Admiral Collins, Mr. Crowley, Mr. Mueller, Consul General Collins, distinguished guests, friends and family, on Facebook. Thank you for joining us today. To our Italian guests, buongiorno gentili ospiti, Coronel Spreafico, Sua Eccellenza Vertice, Generale Raimondo, Generale Altavilla, Contrammirale Renier, autorità civili e militari, vi ringrazio per la vostra presenza oggi. Benvenuti a Sigonella. Ai nostri colleghi dell'Aeronautica Militare Italiana esprimo la mia gratitudine per il vostro instancabile impegno e la dedizione alla missione degli Stati Uniti e della NATO. Collaboriamo dal 1959, quindi da oltre 65 anni, per garantire la sicurezza degli Stati Uniti, della NATO e dell'Italia. Mi impegnerò a proseguire l'eccellente lavoro e mantenere le già salde relazioni professionali costruite dal capitano Schumacher. Insieme la base Sigonella e Sicilia continueranno a essere il fulcro del Mediterraneo, assicurando la stabilità e la sicurezza. Allora, mio italiano non è eccellente, quindi meglio continuo in inglese. Don't mind, the rest of the speech is in English. To the sailors, to the civilians, and to our local nationals of Naval Air Station Sigonella, thank you for your dedication. Every day you provide world-class service to our tenant commands. As the hub of the Med, you directly support the warfighters that operate forward 365 days a year. You counter our adversaries and ensure the success of our global military missions. This year I feel a great sense of pride as the Navy celebrates its 250th anniversary. For 250 years, our Navy has forged enduring alliances that are essential to our maritime warfighting capabilities. These partnerships have allowed us to project power, protect sea lanes, and safeguard global security. I look forward to celebrating this great milestone with you and our allies and partners here in Italy throughout 2025. Service is hard and it is a sacrifice. In my short time on board, I've been incredibly humbled by the world-class team of professionals that live and work on Naval Air Station Sigonella. It will be my honor to serve alongside you these 3 next years. Shu, I cannot thank you enough for your leadership. Lisa and you have been amazing mentors this past year. You have opened your hearts with humility and kindness, and you have welcomed Liz and I into La Familia de Sigonella. I will work hard to build on the amazing progress you have made to make NAS Sigonella a world-class base. I will continue to foster cooperation with our Italian military and civil partners. I will continue to raise the bar that you set to provide world-class support to the warfighters who call this base home and launch forward on mission. And lastly, I will continue the phenomenal work that you and Lisa did to support our military and civilian Sigonella families. To our stellar resources, such as the Dodea School, MWR Child and Youth Programs, Chaplain Services, Fleet and Family Support Center, our Ombudsman, just to name a few of the folks here, you all contribute to a strong community of families, civilians, and sailors who support the enduring mission of Naval Air Station Sigonella. I know many of us are a long way from home, but thanks to you all, Sigonella already feels like home to me and Liz. Well, my speech is already getting a little long for you guys, but if I don't thank a few people, I will start this command tour sleeping on a couch. So, to my beautiful wife Liz, thank you for always being ready for a challenge. You are my North Star and navigator through our grandest adventures. There simply aren't enough words to aptly describe my love and appreciation. To Pat, better known as Pop Pop, to my daughters, throughout my service, you were always a steady and loving no-no. To Malia and Allie, as I have served, you have served alongside our Navy family. I cannot thank you enough. Mom, you, Bruce Springsteen, and John Bon Jovi are living proof that good things can come from New Jersey. You were loving, but demanding. You set high expectations, but understood when I made mistakes. You inculcated my self-purpose, and you sent me forth into this world with a moral compass steering just and right. Thank you. Now, April, the Department of Defense celebrates the month of the military child. And service is hard, but service can be hardest on our children. So today, before closing, I would like to thank my daughters who could not be here today. Thank you, Malia, for 21 years of naval service. And thank you, Aliana, for 17 years of naval service. And to all the children and young adults of Naval Air Station Sigonella, thank you for your service. In closing, siamo molto emozionati di essere qui in Italia e soprattutto in Sicilia. Ci vediamo presto. God bless you all. May God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remain standing for the benediction and the departure of the official party. Boatswain, post the side boys. Chaplain King will now deliver this afternoon's benediction.
Let us pray. And may the Lord bless you and keep you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May he lift his countenance upon you and give you peace. In your holy name I pray. Amen.
Time orderly, strike 6 bells. Commander, Navy Region Europe, Africa Central, departing. Time orderly, strike 4 bells. Naval Air Station Sigonella departing. Time orderly, strike 4 bells. Captain, United States Navy, departing. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. On behalf of Admiral Collins, Captain Shoemaker, and Captain Martins, I would like to thank you for attending at this time honored tradition.